Several Bloomington City Council members changed their minds about a local grocery sales tax. That's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Friday, September 26th. I'm Ryan Denham, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with two Republican candidates for governor coming to Bloomington-Normal with a goal to unseat J.B. Pritzker next year. Here's WGLT's Braden Fulgerson.
Republican Darren Bailey, a former state senator, lost by double digits to Pritzker 3 years ago. After meeting with supporters at a Bloomington restaurant, Bailey told reporters he and the state are ready for a rematch.
Well, we learned a lot. We got off messaging. I made mistakes, and we're correcting that. We're staying focused. And not only that, but, the climate here in Illinois is a lot more obvious and conducive than it was 3 and 4 years ago. People have woke up.
Bailey will have at least 3 Republican opponents for the March 2026 primary. The one with the biggest financial advantage now is Ted Dabrowski. The leader of a conservative research publication says being from Cook County will help him do much better in Chicago and the Collier counties where Bailey struggled. Dabrowski says he sees his temperance as a deciding factor in his favor.
I believe that to win in Illinois for a Republican, you have to be persuasive. You have to be logical. You have to be reasonable. It doesn't mean you have to agree, obviously. I have my strong points of view about crime, about education, about the loss of population.
Dabrowski has raised over $1 million for his campaign. Bailey says he's been catching up since announcing he's running again. DuPage County Sheriff Jim Mendrick and Lake Forest resident Joe Severino are also seeking the Republican nomination for governor. For The Leadoff, I'm Braden Fulgerson.
Here's some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. Bloomington-Normal community leader Ryan Whitehouse has died. The 43-year-old chaired the Bloomington-Normal Economic Development Council Board and the Board for Connect Transit. He died after an accident in Michigan. ISU President Andave Tarhule says the university needs to boost student retention and graduation rates. As part of his State of the University speech, Tarhule emphasized the strategic goal of raising the retention rate to 85% and the 6-year graduation rate to 70% by the year 2030. Earthrise Energy cut the ribbon on its new Archtop solar energy project. It's on the same site as the company's Gibson City Energy Center power plant. The company expects Archtop to be fully operational by spring of 2026. And Illinois abortion providers are bracing for more Wisconsin patients seeking care. President Trump's tax cut and borrowing law bars abortion providers like Planned Parenthood from getting federal Medicaid reimbursements. Because of this, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is pausing abortion services next week. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. When the state rollback of the locally shared grocery tax first passed, then Mayor Mboka Mwelamwe said he believed there was no appetite in the council to impose a local tax. Though the vote was still split, the council passed that tax this week. In this interview with WGLT's Charlie Schlenker, Bloomington City Manager Jeff Jurgens says council sentiment evolved over time.
We've had a lot of different things happen within our community, and we have been working with deficits while our capital projects have continued, those needs have continued to increase. So really just through having conversations, looking at the impacts, and coming with really what was unfortunately had to be a strong recommendation that the city of Bloomington needed to keep this tax. It was a tax that was already in place. Our finance department projected it to be a very substantial number, $3 million to the city. And had we failed to keep it, it really would have put us in a position where we were not able to move forward on a number of projects and likely would have faced some pretty severe cuts.
Councilmember Sheila Motley said during the council meeting in opposition to the tax that she feels the city has more of a spending problem than a revenue problem at this point. How did you try to convince Member Motley and other people like her otherwise?
I think we continue to be transparent. In this last budget, we cut a number of positions. We cut a number of line items in terms of training, supplies, equipment. We've deferred and we've pushed, and there are only so many cuts that we're going to be able to make. And that's not to say we're not continuing to try and tighten our budget. We have a very aggressive attrition program at the city where we're trying to lower our FTE count. We are not doing layoffs. We don't have a hiring freeze, but we are trying to lower our FTE count.
At one point, the structural deficit was on the order of $5.5 million. Does this final piece, the grocery tax, maintaining it, close that deficit?
We hope it does, and it's not just keeping the grocery tax, and it's not just the cuts we've made, but there have also been other changes to how internet sales taxes are being divided and attributed, and so we have seen an increase in that as well. So with keeping the grocery tax, we believe we will have eliminated the deficit and put us in a position to potentially do some of the larger projects that are on our radar.
The deadline for passage to avoid a timing gap until the local grocery tax would take effect in January was October 1st for passage. Why present it to the council so close to that last possible moment?
Really, it was just kind of figuring out, giving everybody till that last moment to get all of the information we had to make that decision. We were probably one of the later ones to make this decision. Obviously, the town of Normal made it, very early on. I would say we did it with having the maximum information possible.
Which infrastructure projects that you've referenced that the grocery tax could help with are you going to put before the council that they can consider?
One of the biggest infrastructure projects we have on the radar right now, in addition to obviously, our roads and sidewalks and that type of infrastructure, we're also still trying to tackle the flooding within the city. And so the East Street Basin is a project that I know has broad support amongst the council. We are trying to get grants and, we're trying to do different ways to fund that project, but that is a big project, a big infrastructure project. In order to get that project completed, we have to relocate the Public Works campus. So that is another project that we might be able to see. Again, we'll see if where the council is on this, but that's another project where this funding may be able to help us relocate the Public Works campus and to pave the way for the East Street Basin project.
With Bloomington City Manager Jeff Jurgens, he spoke with Charlie Schlenker. You can read or listen to the rest of their interview at WGLT.org. Before we let you go, the Children's Discovery Museum's annual Day of Play returns to Uptown Normal tomorrow from 10 to 3, with more than 60 community partners providing free performances, interactive activities, and fun zones. And that is it for today. I'm Ryan Denham. The show is produced by Cheyenne Brown. You can subscribe to the Leadoff on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.